Hey everyone, this is Zachary Q Dennis. I'm just going to do a quick video on the Android N developer preview. Now, I've had it for less than a day, and obviously I haven't had time to find every single new thing that there is, but I'm going to show you my 5 favourite things that I have found so far. And the first thing we're going to do is jump straight into the notifications. And one of my favourite things here is actually the animations. So you've got your normal notifications there, you can swipe them up or down. You notice there's a little arrow there that kind of indicates that it can be expanded, etc. But one of the things I really like is the quick settings at the top. So your 5 main quick settings are always there. And you can still drag down again to expand the quick settings panel like before. But watch the way these animate into their respective positions. I know it's a simple thing, but I think that looks really, really nice. While we're in the quick settings, let's go over the changes here. I really like this. So, you'll notice there aren't 2 main toggles at the top with the rest underneath anymore. They're all the same size. You can also swipe between pages, something that CyanogenMod 13 had. And there's an edit button down here on the right, which lets you drag things up and down from the quick settings and move their order around. We've also got new information here, so when you hit Wi-Fi there, whoa, okay, developer preview, like I said, it can be buggy. Let's try and do that again. There we go. So just tapping it once takes you to there, but holding it down will take you to the main setting page. Wow, that crash was a little bit weird. We've also got obviously the torch like normal, but if you hold that down, it just opens the camera. So now you've got the double tapping the camera button as well as holding down the quick setting for the torch to get to your camera quickly. I think that's pretty cool actually. And you'll also notice we've got a battery icon there. I'll show you what that does later on, because actually what that button does is something else on the top 5, which I'm going to come to later on. We've also got something called Universal Quick Reply, and I can't really show it to you without someone sending me a message, but you'll be familiar with the way Hangouts and Messenger have a reply button in their notifications. At the moment, that has to be something implemented in each individual app, but Android N has something that is system-wide, so whether you're using Telegram, WhatsApp, whatever, you will be able to use the Quick Reply. In the description for this video I'll have a link to a WhatsApp Google Plus post which shows me using it with WhatsApp, so you can still get an indication of what that does. So let's go into the settings. You remember from Marshmallow, the System UI tuner, well, some new things have been added in here. So we've got colour and appearance, and we can calibrate our display, etc. I know a lot of people are going to like that. We've also got night mode. Now, I'm going to go over the settings because something I've really noticed is that night mode is really buggy just trying to switch it on from the UI tuner. So I've got my settings set up how I want, but instead of using that button to turn it on and off, because it doesn't often work, I'm going to use the quick settings toggle. And you'll notice that there's now a dark theme. Well, it's gone really dim so you won't notice. Turn the brightness back up, but you'll notice it dimmed my screen. It's put everything in a dark theme. I don't know how well it's coming out on camera, but there is now a red tint to everything to block the blue light. It's actually really, really useful, quite nice, and works rather well. I'll just bring my brightness back down to an acceptable level. There we go. So what else have we got in settings? Well, we've got more information everywhere. So it's going to tell me how much data I've used, what Bluetooth I'm on, whether my adaptive brightness is on. It's basically showing you sneak peeks of the information each option is going to give you. That's something I think is actually very useful, and something that probably a lot of people didn't realise they wanted, but now they've seen it will know they want it, if that makes sense. We've also got the battery graph, so that's what I was saying that this was going to come into, so you kind of get it here. You've got the battery graph there like that, and it kind of comes under settings as you can open it that way. And they've completely changed this, so it doesn't show a list of times anymore. It's basically a lot more detailed than it was. I actually really like it. My screen time's a little down today on this preview build. It's actually been, yesterday in my experience, the same if not slightly better than Marshmallow, with me getting 5 or 6 hours of screen time. But I've had a lot of phone calls and I've been turning the phone on and off, doing basically doing takes for this video where I was going to show you it booting, and then I realised there really wasn't anything different. So my battery life has actually so far been pretty good. We've also got data settings now, and I really like this. So if we go into more at the top here, under mobile networks, you've got, it wasn't mobile networks, you've got Wi-Fi calling built in. I haven't turned it on because I've never seen anything about it on my network, so I don't really know if I can use it without being charged. But under data usage, things are a little different. So we've got data saver. We can automatically change our billing cycle. Setting your data limit, instead of having that bar you'd move up and down that was so hard to get to a precise number, you can just tell it the unit and type in the number and it will set those limits. So much easier than before. You can also see how much Wi-Fi you've used, things like that. It's basically a much nicer representation of your data usage than what we had before. You'll also notice number 3 on my top 5 Android N features is here, and that is the data saver. So when you turn it on, basically it disables all background data except on Wi-Fi. So let's have a look in here. So basically none of these apps can use background data whatsoever when it's on my mobile network, except by default Google Play services, which is fair enough. And you can tell other apps to be able to ignore the data saver. Just turn that off. If you're on a limited data plan, and actually if you just want to save battery in all honesty, that's quite handy. So what is number 4 on my top 5 Android N features? Well, it's actually multi-window. Now I'm going to show you part of that on here, and I'm going to show you part of that on the Pixel C, because some of it's actually really good on the tablet. So let's choose 2 apps. Let's say Google Keep, where I had a note for helping with this video. And let's say Twitter. Okay, so we're going to go into the Recents button here. I'm going to drag and hold on Twitter and drag it to the top, and then I'm going to hit Keep. And as it says, apps may not work with split screen. But there we go, I now have split screen view. It's a lot like what Samsung have done, but I think this implementation is a little bit nicer, just it's more intuitive in the way things work, and obviously because it's built into the system level and not added on, it kind of is a little bit more fluid. You'll also notice the overview button rather has changed shape, and if we hold it down it takes us back to the main app. So there's a couple of other things that I really like in multi-window, and for that it's best demonstrated on a tablet. So here is my Pixel C, also running Android N. Let me just bring my brightness down a little. The Pixel C has such a bright screen, honestly, even on low brightness. Okay, so hopefully you can still see that. Let's see what I'm talking about with multi-window here. So I'm going to open Twitter again. I'm going to open it so we're inside a tweet, and I'm also going to open Google Keep. And I'm going to search for a specific note that I keep with sort of comedy emoticons that I have and that I like using. So we're going to enter multi-window here with Twitter and Keep, and I want to use this little shrug emoticon that became so popular with the Android M preview. So we're going to highlight it, then we push and down, hold and down on it, and drag it over into the what's happening bit, and it copy and pastes it into there. Now Samsung did something very similar starting with the S4 and Jelly Bean, but the problem that I really had with it is that it only worked with Samsung apps. So it worked on the Samsung Mail app, but not the Gmail app, etc, etc. But because this is built into the Android framework now, it literally works with everything. It even works with having Google Plus here and Chrome here, and dragging the Chrome address into the link section of Google Plus. Really, really nice. Something else someone actually showed me, yeah, just deleted them, it doesn't matter. So something else someone actually showed me is the fact you can get keyboard shortcuts now. So I'll show you where to add them in a minute, but if I actually type the word shrug, there we go, I didn't add the shrug one, but if I type the word fight, up comes that emoticon. If I type in really, up comes that emoticon. And the way that I did this is language and input, personal dictionary, and there we go. Shrug is there. I don't get quite why it wouldn't go in, but you can just type basically that shortcut and it'll even work with emoticons now, and probably even emoji if you wanted to, but I don't really know why because the emoji key is always there. So this is actually quite nice. I really like this. And that keyboard shortcut was my fifth and final favourite Android N feature. So we'll go over those again. Number 1, the notifications. Number 2, the settings. Number 3, the data saver. Number 4, multi-window featuring drag and drop text. And number 5, keyboard shortcuts. And that's basically the 5 favourite things I have so far. In terms of bugs, there are a few. You'll notice the weird Wi-Fi thing that happened with my Nexus 6P. One of the other weird things is that even I'm on the Virgin Mobile network. They piggyback off of EE, and even if I go into settings, it says that I'm registered on the Virgin network, but the phone insists on telling me that I'm on EE, both there and there. A lot of custom ROMs do that a lot actually, but stock never did. Hopefully that's going to be fixed. I don't know if that's a problem with my network, they need to change something, or whether that's the ROM. Probably the ROM. But that's basically it so far. As I say, there'll be a link for the quick reply screenshots in the YouTube description, and there'll also be a link to my main Google Plus profile. I'd recommend following that if you're interested in Android N, because as I find other new things, I'm going to be posting about it there a lot, probably in a dedicated Android N collection. So even if you don't want to add me, maybe just follow that collection. There's a lot of stuff there already. If you have any questions about Android N, please feel free to ask and I will do my best to let you know. And actually, probably the first thing everyone's going to ask is about the Easter egg, so I'll just do that now while I remember. You've got that, and there's no shrug like there was with M. It just takes you to the Marshmallow game, and it hasn't changed at all. It is just the Marshmallow game. So that's about it, really. As I say, got any questions, please let me know, and the links will be in the description. Have a good one, guys.